All right, hi, hello to anyone who's watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. It's all really rad. Check out gauntlet-rpg.com for all the stuff involved in the Gauntlet, including blogs and forums. There's also the zine that the Gauntlet puts out, which is called Codex. Usually contains supplements to existing games, but more often than not these days, original games in itself. There's also the podcasting network where I talk a lot about indie tabletop role playing games. I should specify PBTA, Fortune Dark, OSR, all sorts of Feelsy, other games, story games, all those different minutia of labels. And also you can find all that at gauntlet-rpg.com. There'll be a link down below as always. But probably the most important thing you'll find there, at least in my view, is the Hangouts calendar to which this game is arranged. This is session, I'd like to say 6. I think it's 6. Yes, maybe. Who knows? Anyone who's watching this can check for themselves. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is session 6 of our run of Team Saber, which is Fortune Dark game of giant robots by Austin Ramsey. There'll be a link down below. Fortune Dark means it's a hack of Blades in the Dark by John Harper, except replace ghosts and scoundrels with giant robots and war. Lots of war. We've all kind of like I said, this is either session 6 or session 7, so either way we're knee deep into this. If you're watching this, I would advise you to jump backwards a bit and watch how we ended up here, because there's some great characters, some great moments. That last session was a corker. It was a banger and a half. I don't know what half a banger is. I don't even know what a banger is. Trev's making a face because bangers. I don't this European stuff. So anyway, so the thing is, we kind of the characters, Naga, JD, Verb and Crux, and the corporatocracy and the weirdo church they all work for, and again the corporation they all fight, fighting quite well. Yeah, things certainly went bang. An entire person went bang, right in someone's face. So that was great. Okay, before we kind of jump into downtime, because we finished up with the mission, we got our rewards, we did upkeep off recording, so to speak. We are going to jump into well, before we do that, I do want to talk about safety tools that we're using, just so I keep that in mind for folks. First off, there is our suite of lines and veils in the safety and links and images tab. For those who don't know, lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna concentrate on it. It happens off screen, or he gets a sentence or two, or we kind of fade to black before we kind of concentrate on it. It so happened, but we're not gonna linger on it. And there's stuff that are asked first, which are we can introduce them, but before we do, we should pull the table first and ask them is it okay? Can we do this? Can we modify this? Just make sure it's not it's not sprung upon on an unsuspecting table. I'd ask folks because it's been a while to have a look through those lines and veils and ask first. See if there's anything you'd like to add. Feel free to do so. If everything's okay, just say okay in the Zoom chat. Third okay, just raising my coffee cup. Always happens. All right, the other tool that we're using is script change. Basically, it's a set of commands that kind of lets us help keep control over the fiction or the narrative that we're telling. the commands are on the roll for a party, which I linked there. Just to go through the 3 ones that are like most pertinent to us, there's rewind. When you call for a rewind, you back up to a specific point in the scene, do it over again, and trying to avoid whatever issue led to the rewind. And the issue could be anything. It could be a name, could be like just the general tone or tenor of the scene, or even just like the entire scene itself. And you don't have to explain why you have an issue with it. And I might ask some questions on what exactly the issue is, but if someone calls for a rewind, we're going to respect the rewind and go back and try something else. There's also fast forward. When you fast forward, you kind of fade to black. The void time is needed to avoid content elements of play. It's kind of like back to our veils idea, where like we just skip forward a bit, and we don't need to like linger on certain things. And finally, there's pause, which you can call for a pause if you need a break from like an intense scene. Take a bio break, or if you want to see clarity or discussion about the game or content. It's part of our open door policy that the godhood uses, where like if if you need to step away from the table for any reason. Damn it! I just clicked Photoshop on. It's booting up now. If you need to step away from the table for any reason, and any reason is perfectly fine. Like it may be an emergency you need to take care of, or you're more tired than you thought, and you need to like step away from the table, or you really need take a bio break. You need to use the toilet or whatnot, and we can pause at any time, and we'll try to accommodate yourselves. Yeah. Speaking of pause, I'm going to take a sip of this coffee. That's great. Don't know why I leaned into the mic to make that noise. Okay, so last time we saw our hardy squad, they were, well, we all thought it was going to be like, done and dusted, mission's nearly over, we're going to retrieve this corpse, it's going to be A-okay, and then, you gotta beat up someone, and then that someone just blows up in your face. So then the whole mission blows up in your face. So like, I know we had like closing shots last time of how the folks are doing or feeling, but like, I will say like probably some time has passed since that mission. Abello's body has been taken away by the cenotaph. Who are on the up and up, and they're legit. They're not like all the other weirdos in your squad. We're in downtime, so we're kind of like in the fugue of the next couple of days. There are like you've kind of been left alone in your base for a bit, although you've got your toughs, your cohort, the Harriers, who we kind of established them as kind of being like kind of a bit recruited outside the church. So they gamble, they play cards. Naga played cards with them for a moment. That sort of thing. So maybe your abandoned amusement park is a bit livelier than it was. So before we kind of like jump into downtime, I kind of like want to get like a shot of each character. What are they kind of like doing? What their demeanor is when we kind of like cut in. It could be very simple. It could be they're just reading a book, because it has been a while since we last played, and so it does not have to be incredibly detailed. Just like a quick moment of what we see when we come back in.
So I don't know what her medic situation is, because like I think like we it would open with Naga getting checked out of the infirmary, which would be also covering one of my downtime actions.
You have an infirmary, but the way the recovery mechanics work is that like unless you have an ally or a PC that can be a doctor, you'll have to go recruit a doctor. So got a list of allies. You got the hacker. You got well, you can declare an ally. Declaring an ally is always once a session thing. But yeah, you did sustain severe burns. I remember this. So yeah, we'll cover like if you did recover, but how much you recovered. But that sounds like a good opening shot for the moment. Cool.
I don't know who it's going to be, but like a picture Naga trying to light up a cigarette in the infirmary and like getting it taken out of her mouth because like no.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. What about JD or Verb?
Well, first I give Treb $1 internet dollar for fulfilling my drive. I think we see Verb, and she's doing a painting, and I think it's like sort of like a religious iconography kind of painting. Like there's some sort of a saint, and they have the weird mask that some of our religious peoples wear. And you see like she's got the paintbrush, and she's like going to make a stroke, and like you see her hand like start to tremble. She like looks at that, and like you see her face like she's trying to will her hand to stop shaking, but she can't. And then she like rips the canvas like in fury. Yeah. If I was a machine, that wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, so that was the subtext. All right. It's good to know. Jesus Christ. Oh, bother.
Verb has clearly never tried to deal with a printer.
What about JD? What's like
yeah, JD is also at 3 harm, so let's see what else. There's a lot of stuff. So actually, I think the shot of JD is like kind of just looking up everything they can find on this Juliet Alderman. Yeah, person who's trying to buy their planet.
Yeah, there's a lot. We'll get to it because she's a CEO of a publicly traded company. There's a lot that's out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to like mechanics. Imagine that. We're playing a game here.
There's dice and everything.
Yeah, fancy that. Dice. All right, so we are in downtime. And shit, I should have prepared this. The Google Drive folder. So as always, like during time between missions, pilots can have free play scenes where you can just talk to each other and perform 3 downtime activities. Like this is the only time to like be able to do these activities, so they're fairly special. And you have 3 three activities to spend on many options. Let me find the reference sheet. And we'll paste it here. So that's the reference sheet where all the downtime activities are. They're on page 8. And if you don't want to do any of them at the moment, you have an idea. If you want to just like chat with someone or do something, I'd be very much in favor of that. Some folks though probably should take care of some injuries. For sure. Okay, so looking at your current suite of allies, I don't think you have one that can do doctoring, but no one's declared an ally yet this session, so you can do that if you want. If you want to declare that, oh, I know someone who can fix me up, that's perfectly fine.
Like I might know somebody. Go ahead.
You have an idea?
Should I be allowed to say something?
I'm just looking for a name.
Okay. Also, it'd be good to tell me which squad they're from, because that'll determine how much dice they roll. I will say though, like if you try to claim an ally from one of the top tier 5 or tier 4 squads, to be like, pitch me this person and we'll see. In the meantime, while Treb's digging up for a name, I want to ask Verb, as the one unharmed person, what are you thinking of downtime? I will say, just because y'all don't have stress, because the one person who has stress to clear is not here, that doesn't mean you can't hang out with each other. It just means that like you don't want to do cut loose because you will get an entanglement, or something bad will happen. You can still cut loose because you can up the number of beliefs you have, but it just means it. Instead of like it might have consequences, it will have consequences because there's no stress to clear. But that doesn't mean you can't hang out with each other. You can still do that. It just won't be mechanically a cut loose. And you can't increase your beliefs unless you want to do that.
I was looking through some of our dials here.
So many, aren't they?
There are quite a few. Trying to take advantage of them as I can.
Which dial do you want to like fiddle with?
So I'm trying to metagame my drive clock today. That's what I'm into. So I've seen two methods doing that during downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one's not technically during downtime, but anyway. Long-term project, and I can call in a favor.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to get either a +1 in our patron faction or +3 in a squad. I don't know if we're close enough to either of those to actually accomplish that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can like you can absolutely do that. Yeah. That's the thing. Drives are kind of like quite a long-term thing, and the pacing of this entire campaign is kind of like messed up anyway. That's my bad. We spent 2 sessions on a mission. It should only last the one. No, I'm kidding. There's no anyone who's watching this. There's no set how many missions, how many sessions per mission. It just happens. That's just a bit on me. Again, I thought we would wrap up that mission far quicker. Cool mission, it was a cool. I mean, I'm glad you thought it was a cool mission. It's just, wow, the dice were real bollocks, weren't they?
Oh, they were. I mean, I was great. Nothing bad happened to me at all.
Yeah, you're right. You took care of that mech. Just fine and dandy.
I do think for color, in terms of during downtime, I would be spending time on the fringes of the infirmary because I do really care about my fellow pilots, but I don't want them to think that I'm patronizing them. So I'm like, yeah. Walking by the door, they might see like my shadow pass through the doorway or something, like.
Yeah. What are the kind of people who are in this base besides you lot? And there's the toughs, but it strikes me that your base is kind of fairly empty-ish until you got your cohorts. It did feel a lot like it was just y'all, maybe some support staff, and the Meridian just hanging out.
I think for, like, we might have had medical staff until we had an injury and then they had to ship some in. And I think that their first day would be very scary. I think it's very spacious and also like very few people. And it's this creepy old like abandoned amusement park, and we've already established the like nostrils of porcelain horses on merry-go-rounds and whatnot, So I think it would be kind of scary. And then like maybe you hear someone like humming like creepy choral music like through the hallways, and you're like, oh God, why did they send me here of all places? Why this squad?
Yeah. I think I'll add some to your color, and then we'll see how this ally goes. I think like you're hovering around this infirmary, and I think on just the end of the corridor away from the infirmary, you see someone else is hovering, watching you, and it's the Meridian. And you can't tell what he's thinking because he's got that mask of his. It's I think I noticed with the picture I posted as well that it's reflective, so you're forever just looking at your face when you talk to him. Oh, creep! All right, think he looks like he wants to talk, but let's take care of the folks inside the infirmary first. Okay, so do you want to read out this NPC you came up with, Naga?
Yeah, her name is Ciara Orphea. She's from the Doctors Without Borders faction. She used to live in the same colony as me, and she has helped out my old crew a few times, but she disapproves of our criminal exploits. So,
All right. So when a pilot declares an old friend who can help, it could be someone from the pilot's past. NPC does not yet interact with them, or previously declared ally. Describe the scenario of when you last saw them and make an action roll appropriate for these circumstances. Just says whether you're in good and bad terms. I'm not going to say that she won't show up to, if you get a fail, that she won't show up. It's just, she's not going to like you. That's mostly it. So when was the last time you saw Ciara Orphea?
I think the last time we saw her, she was helping us patch ourselves up from a run-in with the burden during one of our jobs, and we took quite a few injuries during that. And I think she was telling me off and telling me how I was going to get everybody killed.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Where is your squad? Your old gang. Cool. What action do you think? What action role is appropriate for that scenario?
I don't know. Because we had an argument, so I think it's command, maybe, or it was.
Yeah. Were you how'd you feel about her disapproval back then?
I told her it was easy for her to look down on what we did when she had a steady work, and basically didn't have to struggle with it the same way we did.
Right. Yeah. Doctors Without Borders. Yeah, they don't struggle.
At least you got a job.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that sounds like command. Yeah, sure, command. Yeah.
Roll. So that's 1d6. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got one. So I'm gonna re-roll this. That's a 1.
Oh my gosh.
That's a 1.
Wow. So I think we cut to I think Naga is in the infirmary, been there for a while, and when Dr. Orphea comes in, escorted by probably the Meridian. This is before Verb was hanging around. She sees the two of you, Naga and JD. Then she turns to actually no, what are I think Dr. Orphea turns to the Meridian and she says I have latitude over this infirmary, yes? And the Meridian's yes. And Dr. Orphea nods and she immediately marches to JD. And gives Naga the cold shoulder because JD's injuries are more life-threatening. It's a level 3 harm, that's what she says.
I think that's the point where she lights up the cigarette and it's
yeah, I think you light up the cigarette as she's passing by and she immediately just kind of swipes it. Yeah. And yeah, and puts it off like on an ashtray somewhere or something. Yeah, we'll get her to interact with you in a minute because now fiction she's looking over at JD. Okay, JD, how are you feeling?
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, that dire action really worked out for you, didn't it?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I have acquired a scar. And also I have acquired 3 harm, and also I have acquired a rival, all in one action.
It's honestly amazing how things escalate like that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, cool. I think Dr. Orphea is incredibly professional with you. She was brought in to look after you, you scallywags. Yeah, I guess you want to do recover? Oh, you just muted yourself there, Bethany.
Yes, I totally did. I wasn't muted, and then I muted myself. Yeah, I just had that sheet open to see how to do that, and then I closed it because, of course, I did. There it is.
Basically, you are gonna roll the quality level of an NPC. So if she's from a tier 2 squad, you're gonna roll 2 dice.
Okay.
2d6, and then what result you get will determine how many segments on your healing clock will fill up. And
Okay.
you can boost. You can use your supply points to either add 1 die or boost the result level of your roll. So you can spend 1 of 8 supply points because you have 6 generic and 2 personnel. So you can spend 1 right now to add an extra die to this roll.
I just rolled like a 4.
Okay, so a 4 gets you 2 segments, and your healing clock is like 4. So you're halfway there. You can spend 2 supply points to boost your effect 2 times. That'll put you up to crit, and that's 5 segments. When you fill up your project clock, your harm level goes down. But don't worry, leftover segments will carry over. So if you spend 2 supply points, you'll end up with level 2 harm and 1 extra segment in your healing clock.
Okay,
that
sounds
makes
good.
sense.
Not quite, but okay, so
Are there 4 segments in every harm clock? Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if your harm clock is in your sheet, it's starts at row 17.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, so like so that takes me down to okay, I see. Yeah, right.
Yeah, basically whenever you fill up your healing clock, your level of harm goes down, and all level 1 harm goes away. Yeah, right now
cool.
you rolled a 4 to 5. A mixed success is 2 segments. Whenever you spend a personnel point, you can boost the result.
Okay.
So if you
Cool.
spend
So that
1,
would take me down to 2 harm.
Yeah, if you spend 2
immediately. Okay. Cool.
You want to spend those 2 points?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
That
I'll
would be
bump
good.
you all down to. So you now have 4 supply points. 2 personnel points. Yeah. So that boosts your. Let's see. You rolled a 4. Spend 2 supply points. You rolled a crit now. So that's 5 segments. So you healed up. Yeah.
So then
level
there's
2.
like 1.
Yes. Yes. That stays over. The 1 left over.
Okay.
So your level 3 goes to a level 2. You're now just been wounded by Julian Alderman, not just shot. Yeah. I think Dr. Orphea is just like, well, I'm not paid for my opinion here by the church. But I must say, JD, whoever whoever shot you or whatever shot you was, well, they were a centimeter away from killing you with one blow. Whoever did this was extremely good.
That's great to know. Of course, of course.
I think
trying to buy my planet. Also a really good shot. Great.
All right. There's some stuff that explains it. It's all public info. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, I think she's just kind of like, yeah, flipping through. I think she's looking at you in the more like you look incredibly normal sense.
I think I think once I'm like, you know, in little enough pain to, you know, to function, I think I like probably try to play that up, my like normalness, because I realize how weird the situation is to be dragged into. So I think I just like I go for being just the normal person here, you know, former engineering teacher, just like I'm just here, and you know, and like try to talk to her like a normal person.
Yeah, I think she is like actually, no, you're normal enough. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. There won't be any risk. It would just be a fortune roll. But no, I think you're very normal enough. I think you're so normal. She shoots Naga a look as if like, why is she involved with you? Why are they involved with you? kind of look. Like, is this your fault? She's not gonna say it because she swore an oath. She's not gonna like comment on that. I think like she just says like, well, your wound's healing for now. You're probably gonna feel the effects of it for quite some time. Just take some time off. I'm sure that the church allows for that. We're at war, but well, they should know the importance of taking a break. I think she just kind of like pats you on the leg, I suppose. And then whirls and turns to Naga. And we'll march over and we'll be incredibly professional. Almost professional to the point where like maybe you could have just bought like an auto dock or some kind of machine instead of firing a person, because she's like, yeah, no, I'm checking your vitals, all that fun stuff. All right, do you want to do recover as well, Naga?
Yep.
Yeah. 2 dice.
Okay. I'm gonna take these 2 over here. Click, reroll. 6.
Hey, 6 is 3 segments. You want to spend up a supply point? Just get that over with. Pump it up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll reduce your supply points. 3. Yeah. So let's see. Let me double check. Okay. When healing clock fills up, reduce each instance of harm by 1 level, then clear the clock. Any remaining segments roll over to the not empty clock. Oh, you can attempt to heal yourself, but you take 2 stress. Sorry, just read the rest of that. So you can do it, or you'll take stress. Okay, so yeah, how as she's kind of treating you with a bunch of salves and some bandaging on your burns, she is kind of giving you a impossibly hostile cold shoulder. How are you feeling, Naga?
Guilty.
I think like you know how she was professional with JD. I think she will just drop pretenses and just say like, "What are you up to now, Naga? What's this? What was that?"
I'm just serving my time. You were right.
She gives you a look like that is the last thing she expected you to say ever. She says, "About what?"
Everybody's either in a unit like this with me, in a unit like this, the same as I am, or they're gone.
How many people were in your group? Give me a rough ballpark. It doesn't have to be exact.
Somewhere between a dozen and half a dozen.
I think like Dr. Orphea like fidgets with like a tube of salve that she was like applying on you. She says, "Every single one."
As far as I know, I'm here. I can't really check.
I think like she just kind of like looks around, kind of like just is taking in this newly acquired infirmary. I guess the church just shipped in a bunch of machines and beds, along with all the other beds to get your new quarters. And I think she says, "Well, whenever I try to warn people, 9 times out of 10, I'm in a position to say I told you so, and it never feels good." The cruel part is that like usually there's maybe one or two who's survived where I could say I told you so, but you don't need me to say that, do you? I think she looks at JD again and looks back. What happened there?
Someone we were sent to deal with shot her. I tried to get in the way.
If your hands are really tied, I can look into what happened to your friends. They were very good. Just if you're with another squad and if they're anything like the friends you had, please make sure this one makes it.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to lose anyone else. Not if I can help it.
I think she'll just kind of like nod, and goes back into cold doctor mode. And just says, "All right, I'm gonna leave you this salve. There's like a box of them. Apply every so hour, or once or twice a day, that sort of thing. And downgrade your harm to level 1."
Okay, so we'll just say singed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go to Verb. We're done with the hospital drama for the moment. You have a downtime activity? Or do you want to follow up with the Meridian skulking around?
I'll talk to Meridian.
Yeah. I think like he just kind of like skulks up to you, and you're both at the doorway of the infirmary. And he says, "Are you concerned?" Sorry, I need to get your full name. "Are you concerned? Reverberation Nobel."
They'll be okay.
Picked up some scars. Are you okay?
Like talking to my own face in this reflection in this mask. And I kind of like catch myself like, with a breath in. Meridian, do you think that the will of the celestial myriad will ever be fulfilled in your lifetime?
It is a fervent wish of mine, but it has been a fervent wish of many before me. All of them hoping they would be the last to wish that. For I'll tell you now, Reverberation Nobel, should the myriad's wishes be fulfilled, then there will be no longer a need for the church. We are to carry out their will. But once their will is carried out, then what use are we?
That sounds like a little tingle of hope through my spine. Of maybe instead of dismantling the church, I will fulfill the will of the celestial myriad to make them obsolete. Is it too much to ask you, Leandro, like what the will of the celestial myriad is? I kind of threw that phrase out there without any forethought.
I think you can ask. I think give me a moment. Let me think about this because it's a church. There's debate. It's a whole faction. There's like a lot of different factions inside, or a lot of different squads inside that faction, who have ideas. And we kind of said that the myriad is like a polytheistic kind of religion, and the Meridian worships one kind of like aspect. One particular member, it's part of our notes. He has this big amulet, and they've got other groups like the Cenotaph probably has their own beliefs. The followers of the Shrike, the Breath of Faith, a bunch of other different people, and the church is kind of like the one kind of pitting them all together. So it's always been the case that maybe some people believe we just have to unite behind one belief, but which one? I guess I should ask you what would like Verb, like what's the end that she's pursuing? Because it doesn't sound like she had really like thought like, ooh, this she hadn't really learned about this angle of like fulfilling the aim of the myriad. What did she believe right around this time, or right before this?
So I think that she thought by achieving this sort of personal godhood through becoming a machine, that she could basically either not necessarily disprove the nature of the celestial myriad, but like move people's faith from those deities into themselves or into her. That we don't need star gods. We have godhood within our grasp, kind of thing.
Yeah,
because she still holds a pretty big grudge against the church for what they did to her and her friends. Yeah,
that's true. And she saw an example of another one of those with poor Abello.
yeah.
I think like the Meridian will like give you this look. Well, you feel he's looking at you. You can't really see what he looks like. And I'll say right now, he is not another Crux.
Okay.
I'll just disclaim that right here, right now.
It's just like I see like my reflection like slightly warp with like the tilt of his mask or something.
Yeah. And he says, I've known you to be quite contemplative in our short time together, Reverberation Nobel. But am I wrong to sense some need of direction?
I suppose I have a dream, but I don't have a map.
Are you looking for such a map?
Forgive me, Meridian, if it's not too offensive to say, but I'm not sure if the church has the map, and if it does, if it would show it to me. The church has many secrets. I will not claim to know if they should or should not be revealed. But I understand that there are ones that they would rather keep hidden. I kind of like scratch the back of my neck, like reflexively.
All right, I'm gonna make a fortune roll, just to see. I figured out where the meridian is from, so I know how many dice to roll. I'm just gonna see what he would say. Okay, cool. All right. So I think, for some reason, I'm imagining you're taller than him. I don't know why. But he will like reach to like pat you in the shoulder, and he says, "Doubt in the church has existed for as long as the church has, my dear. Doubt leads many to certain paths, whether with a map or without. Some try to chase after our gods. Some try to disavow them. And some, and he kind of, and you can tell he's like looking you straight up in the face. Some have tried to replace them.
Ooh.
I wonder, without the map, where your path will, where your dream will lead you now. It's fine if you don't have anything to say.
Yeah. Well, I would probably say like without a map, I'll have to blaze my own trail. Like blaze. Fire.
I think like the medium will kind of like retract the hand back. Then let us hope it is a brilliant one indeed. The stronger the blaze, the harder to deny it. And he will walk away.
Orchestra music kind of comes in, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna, we get a shot of like Verb's face, the camera zooming in.
Fire in the eyes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was not a downtime action. That was a lovely scene. Thanks very much. Okay. I think so I need to get some more water, and I really need to pee. Let's take a break. Let's come back at 1/4 past the hour. Good 13 minutes, I think. No, Not 30 minutes. Somewhere, maybe, I don't know. No, it's not. No, I can't do the math. Quarter past the hour. 8 minutes. All right,
8
cool.
minutes, yeah.
Oh, God, I can't. Okay, cool. I'll see you in a bit. Okay. So I know, Mike, we just had a scene with Verb, but I do want to know what downtime activity you were thinking of doing.
Well, following that, I think it's time for a long-term project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm studying some of the church history now. You know, I'm assuming we have some like old like books and things like that related to those sort of things that I've downloaded from our digital scan library because we're in the future or whatever.
So this is different from your current long-term project?
Oh, I have a current one.
Yeah, you were looking into specifically talking about transport solutions, methods of self-deification.
Oh, I didn't know. Where did I put that?
It's scroll down. It starts at row 39 in your sheet.
Okay. Ooh, I need some work on that one.
Oh yeah, you rolled poorly on that one.
Yeah, I guess I'll start a new one because I'll probably end up needing to fill up both anyway.
Yeah, and thing
Eventually.
both would get you closer. I think for the church, if
yeah.
you're doing church research into like maybe your history or what they're doing, that'll be like 4 steps.
Okay.
Because you're inside the church.
Yeah, because I'm mostly following up on like what Meridian said about like some have tried this way, some have tried this way, and then some have tried to replace them. So it sounds like I'm not the first one to kind of go down this road. So I'm kind of curious to see whose footsteps I'm following in, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess as far as activities go, that's probably that study.
Yeah, that sounds like a study. Yeah, and let me double check supply points. And you only have 1 die at the moment, but if you want, you can spend a supply point to add an extra die.
I'll spend 1 supply point.
Okay, so you are all at, let's see, 2 generic supply points and 2 personal points left over.
That went quick.
Yeah, well, folks needed healing.
Fair enough. I'm going to re-roll these 2 rightmost ones, and I got a 6.
Hey, hell yeah. So on a 6, wow, you're going to get 3 segments. So you are like 1 tick away. You can spend another supply point to pump up the level.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I don't want to be too greedy.
Okay. All right. So, okay. I want to know, let's see, what were the categories the Meridian said? Some folks have tried to run away or tried to chase down their gods. Some folks have tried to
Disavow them, I think.
disavow them, yeah, and some folks have tried to replace them. Give me an example of one of them, and I'll give you the other 2.
Okay.
I'll give you, I'll give you one example of one of them, or like an idea. I'm gonna say that because you rolled a 6, so you can co-author this. This is your project.
Very cool. Yeah, I think there was someone who was basically trying to find what is the word I'm looking for? Like a connection with these gods, like in the void of space. So like they would go out like in a spacesuit and just like drift for days at a time, trying to commune with the celestial myriad. And they started experimenting by sending people out like without a spacesuit for as long as they could, and sometimes they were able to recover them, and sometimes they weren't, and tried to like tell me what you saw, kind of thing. Yeah, I guess eventually they abandoned that project. It doesn't say what happened to them. I don't think.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah. I think the other thing you find is like you see there is like a gap in the readings. Around the same time this project of sending people out to space was happening. So that sounds like the chasing bit. I think you see like there's like a gap in the quote unquote official histories of the church as you look through them. You see that like around the time this project was happening, actually no, this project was in the behest of one of the higher ups of the church. The position is the faith, which is the spy master of the church. Yeah, one of those squads is the breath of faith. Those are like the secret agents. One of them accosted JD, the one who looks like Crux. So usually you can trace which they lose their names, so usually you can trace who were they. And this project's under the behest of this faith. But for some reason you can't. It's hard to find out who they are. Like it's like not only are they, it's not shown, but it looks like they've been actively erased. And then you can see like, oh, there's a lot of like other different projects like that, sending people out into a deep uncharted space, or terraforming certain planets, or like getting close to like black holes, or different kind of projects, research grants or whatnot. They're all being tied around this one faith, and they don't say who it is. And you won't know unless you get that last tick.
Very cool.
All right. I'll turn either Naga or JD. What are y'all up to? And again, if you want to just hang out with each other without cutting loose, that's perfectly fine as well. Unless you want to cut loose, but, you're risking that, not me. Like all three of you have two downtime activities left.
So I actually don't have stress to relieve, but
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just like, it doesn't have to be a downtime activity. If you want just like a scene with anyone, either the other PCs or any other NPC. Downtime doesn't mean you're all just stuck in this base. You're in a city, as contested as it is, as riven between the factions. Like, we did see Naga at a internet cafe at one point.
I do want to do a long-term. I want to continue my long-term project of trying to figure out who Mischief Deed was.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. What is Naga doing to pursue this?
She's basically trying to track down basically what she talked to Sierra about, like trying to figure out who's still alive and but what happened to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead.
If people were definitely dead, it probably wasn't them.
We'll see. Yeah. What action are you rolling for this?
I think I'm trying. Study wouldn't be something I could do.
I mean, because it's a long-term project, like there's no risk to this. It's just the roll
Yeah.
gonna be low, and they spend another supply point.
Yeah, I think study is probably the one that makes the most sense. Like
Yeah.
if she's looking through reports and stuff.
Yeah. Do you wanna spend a supply point to get at least one die?
Yes.
Okay. You're down to one supply point and 2 personnel points. Basically, the difference, like personnel, it can't be used for any old downtime activity. Specifically, it's specifically the mech ones. You can't use it for that. But we're not concentrating on the mechs right now.
I got a 3.
A 3. Wow. Jeez. Well, there's 2 ticks away. So remind me, you're trying to find who betrayed your gang. Reports of what's been happening with your gang. Is that what you're looking for? Like where the rest are?
Yeah.
I think you probably won't get this until the project is done. But I think you looking through, like maybe asking around, maybe Rip helped you for a moment, or Dr. Orpheus sends you like a report. I think you. Which of your gang did you get on with the most?
That'd be Clutch Titanus.
Love the name. I think you get like a garbled kind of like eyewitness report from a friend of your hacker friend, Rip, of someone named Clutch T, working for who? I think there was like a very garbled sort of like very close, no, not very close, but like the kind of stuff that spy stuff, secret agent stuff. There was like a bunch of people just going into a house and cleaning it out, that sort of thing. It's quite garbled, and some people say like they heard someone call out to a Clutch, and it's hard to say like whether if they were in the house or if they were part of the group cleaning it out. But yeah, you get it in like there's like one more member. One of them who's alive. Sadly, nothing about Mischief Deed, which is a code name. But yeah, you're getting there. And I'll say like when you finish up these projects, you get like a tick to your drive clock, for sure, because this is part of furthering that. Because you're furthering your drives with these projects. Is that okay for that role, Naga? Yep. Cool. All right, JD, what about you? What are you up to?
Yeah, I gotta research this Juliet Alderman and find out like anything I can, because I mean I don't have a ton of ways to interfere with this sale of my planet, but like if there's any like cracks I can put lever in.
Fair. Let me look at my notes for her because I did write down a bit. Yeah, I'll give you like the gist of what the public info knows about Juliet Alderman, and maybe like I don't know, is JD looking through like a tablet, looking at public info?
Yeah.
Corporate bios. Yes, she is the CEO of Alderman Mergers and Acquisitions, who is like an information broker company. She's quite recently come into the position. She is barely out of college, like early 20s. Looked quite young, sounded quite young, turns out is quite young. But she's said to be quite a prodigy. I think, won all the awards, spearheaded several initiatives in in the corporation. You do get some like internet scuttlebutts, some like op-ed, some clickbaity kind of like articles saying, "Oh, we heard that Juliet Alderman, when she was a baby, received augmentations to her brain. That's why she's all precise and whatnot." But there's scuttlebutt into it. Who knows if there's truth to that? I mean, why would I even be saying it? It's that kind of hearsay. Yeah, so that's kind of like the public knowledge of Juliet Alderman, but I assume you want to dig in a bit deeper.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I think I'm gonna fold this with that Dust Eye project you got going on, because he works for her.
Yeah, like they're related. I was going to ask, are those two separate long-term projects, or are they like one
I
big
think
merged one? Or
I think we can merge them into the same one.
okay.
I couldn't do that with Verb's one because they're specifically one of them is the church and the other one's another corporation. Yeah. So what is JD doing to find out this info?
Yeah, I think it starts with just like publicly available research, but I knew Dust Eye before like all of this stuff. I probably know like, or at least know of some of his family.
Yeah. Yeah, you absolutely could. I mean, look, he's your NPC, so I'm down for that.
So like maybe somebody would have like maybe someone was important enough to him that he would have kept in contact with them even if he wasn't supposed to. Like let's say his daughter.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm down for that. Okay, so let's see. This sounds like this might be consorting since their family.
Okay.
You know the family. They're probably known to you. That sounds okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, so do you want to make that roll?
Sure. I have 1 in consort. Five.
Hey! Ooh, 5 is 2 ticks, and that completes our project.
Right.
Hell yeah. I think so you contact her how? I'd probably take a Zoom call.
Yeah, I think it's I think I like send her a message to, I'd like to talk to you and arrange like a time to do so or something.
Yeah. I think you get a message immediately and just says, when are you free soon? When's the soonest you're free?
I actually right now I am free. So I think it's like as of immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you'll get a call. You'll get into a video call with Dust Eye's daughter. Does she have a name?
She needs a name, doesn't she? Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
What's a good ridiculous name? Or maybe she has a normal name because he has such a ridiculous name.
His name is ridiculous.
Okay, not that.
If you're using the Beam Saber name generator, all of the names are ridiculous.
I'm just using the like fantasy name generator, which has like 9 million different options.
Yeah.
Just not what I'm looking for.
since she's like
That's not it.
Dustai's daughter, would you have taught her back at that college?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, like she might. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Like she might have been like the right age to have been in college at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, cool. Let's say that yes, she was. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm
No worries.
spacing out here a little bit.
No worries.
Oh, nah, she also has a ridiculous name. It's Nightshade.
All right, runs in the family, I assume.
Yeah, it's a family tradition.
Yeah. So I think like Nightshade pops up in the video call. She looks like much older than you remembered her, because like probably taught her when she was like, young, bright, eager. War has since happened. But I think her face kind of lights up, and she's like, Professor, it's been some time.
Yeah, I've been off world for a long time, and I'm back now. And I thought I'd look you up. Well, this isn't a purely personal call.
It's about my dad, is it?
Yeah. I heard there was an explosion,
Yeah.
but
Well, I think like her face like really darkens. And she says, "Where are you now?"
what is the name of the city we're in?
Journey City.
Yeah, I'm in Journey City now, right in the middle of it.
Well, I hope you're okay.
Right now, yeah, I'm fine. How about yourself?
Professor, things haven't been right since that explosion. It's I was meant to be, I was meant to be interning there in the factory because it's one of the jewels of our home world. And I was quite happy to be there, but my dad was, he was, but then suddenly one day he just completely like changed his mind. He just said, that factory's not good enough for you. You should quit your internship. And I've already called the director. And I've always told you he can be quite overbearing, but I've never seen him just switch like that. And we got into a fight. I might have thrown something, not at him, outside the window. No, I wouldn't throw anything at him. And the next day, the factory blows up. And then, are you sure you're safe?
As far as I know, right now.
Okay.
Is there something specific I should be worried about?
Just, I've not told anyone this because I don't know what might happen if people knew. Day after the explosion happens, we get a house guest. We have someone coming for dinner, and it was, Juliet Alderman.
I know of her.
Yeah, she just came to dinner, and it was just the three of us, and she was talking about expanding into our world, and my dad was talking about how maybe I could get an internship with her company. Professor, I don't think I've ever met someone as cold as she was. And she was my age. And she's in charge of a company, and she looked at me and she looked at my dad as if we were just numbers on a sheet.
I don't think you get to own a company at 22 by not being that cold. Do you know what they're up to? I've heard some things, but I'm trying to piece it together now.
Well, it's probably gonna come out in the news soon, probably, but Alderman, Juliet Alderman, she said it right here at dinner. She said it in front of me and Dad, as if we can't do anything about it. She said that you know how there are all these smaller companies. They're all under Exodus. They're all under this big one.
Yeah.
She basically said it outright, and she said it as if she was just ordering, takeout. She says at some point, she wants Exodus to be replaced by Alderman. And apparently our planet is going to be the launching point for that.
I guess it's cheap property right now.
It won't be the last, Professor.
No, I'm sure it won't. I think. Hey, look. Are you somewhere safe?
I think she kind of looks around. I think you can see behind her, she looks like she's at some kind of study. Well, I suppose so. I did take an internship, but not with her company, with another company. Have you heard of Takuma Transport? I'm with them at the moment.
Yeah, that's another Exodus company, right? I believe.
Well, I didn't want to be too far away from Dad.
Yeah. Be careful. And look, if it's ever not safe there, look me up. I can probably find an excuse for you to be here.
I think she's not even going to ask where she just knows you're in Jersey City. Probably not going to be keen if you tell her about the church.
I'm not telling. Well, I mean, she's on a line that is probably secure, but who knows? From her company, I'm not going to go into specifics.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think she was just nod. She looks a bit less tense, a bit less older, a bit more relieved. She says, "Okay. Yeah, you take care of yourself as well, Professor. Well, maybe we'll see each other soon. I hope."
All right. Yeah. You too. Be safe and keep your eyes open.
I think you hear a knock on the door on her end, and you hear voices going, "Nightshade, we need you for the next test. You gotta earn your keep here." And it's a voice you wouldn't recognize, but the audience would recognize as Titania Cradles.
Yep. Cool.
And then Nightshade's I gotta go, Professor. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. I love how she didn't even bother trying to lie to me that her dad was dead. It's like, no.
No, well, yeah, no, she wanted to tell someone. Yeah, cool. So, you finish that project. That means you get an extra tick to your drive clock.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're one tick away from a full one.
Where's
Um,
my...
Also, I was looking, Verb, I think you should have had a second tick on your drive clock because everyone else had 2 and everyone got 1 from each mission. Because everyone
Okay.
pursued their drives at some point because you connected with that frame. Yeah. So you should have had a second one there. Okay. So that's JD's. Oh no, that's everyone. Everyone's done Actually, yeah, everyone. Wait, hold on. Verb, you did. You created another long-term project, but I don't think you've done a second one. So we'll come to you. And again, you don't have to do down activities again if you want to just hang out with other PCs. But if you want to just keep talking to me, that's perfectly fine as well. I'm here. I mean, I don't mind talking to y'all. It's fun stringing along these plots.
I realized that I haven't really had a chance to talk with Naga about her dearly departed friend, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be nice to check in on her well-being as well.
Yeah.
Where do you think I would find you? Yeah.
I was going to ask, maybe is this around the time Naga's being kicked out of the infirmary?
Playing cards, you think?
Probably. Either that or working in some secret nook of the facility.
I like how people keep finding your secret nooks so easily. Yeah, what are you working on? Working out or working on?
I was wondering, can you repeat downtime actions, or is it like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can like recover again, keep working on your long-term project. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so I think she's still studying. So I'm gonna do another study roll and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we have supply points to waste, so I'll
you have like 1 generic one and 2 personnel ones.
Okay, so that's another 2 actually.
So that gets you 1 second. Jesus, you're not rolling well with these downtime actions, are you?
So is that something I can assist with then? Because
hold on, let me double
inserting
check.
myself in this scene.
Allies and contacts. Oh, if a pilot or cohort assists with a downtime activity, except for cut loose, describe how they help and take +1 die. Oh, yeah, so you absolutely can. Probably should. Well, I guess it's up to Naga if you want to loop Verb into this.
I feel like this is a very personal thing for Naga, so I don't know if.
Sure.
I don't know if she's at the point where she'd let Verb in that right now.
Okay, so you get 1 segment. I think you're trying to figure out if there's any other remnants of your gang. I think you get another. I think you get like a tip from. You get an email from. It's not marked, it's not signed. An anonymous email, just a squiggly line, not squiggly lines, but random symbols. And I think it just says, this is from a friend, and attached to it is like, PDFs watermarked with like church documentation files and whatnot, and you can, if you run it through anyone, you see like they're legit church documents, and you'll see just starkly, I think 4 names that are familiar to you that are now dead.
Yep.
And I think you get like another email just going, and I think it's just one line, and it just says, "Do you really want to keep digging?"
I think she cracks the tablet she's working on a little bit.
Is this how Verb finds you? Cracking this tablet?
Yeah.
So Verb, you find Naga not in the best of states.
Hello.
What can I do for you, Verb?
I didn't actually come seeking any sort of assistance. Well, you see, I have surmised that each of us may fall a little short when it comes to expressing ourselves. So you've got like the cracked tablet in your hands. But nonetheless, I wanted to extend my sympathies and check on your condition.
They weren't dead. I saw them get up.
I'm not sure that they were alive either.
What did the church do to them?
They I'm trying to think of like what I would say, like and how much I want to like establish as canon or whatever too. Leander, do you have any like insights or thoughts, or did you have a kind of
Usually when you're like, when one is scrambling for or like trying to figure out how much you would know, you can disclaim decision making and just make a fortune roll. See how much Verb would like know about this, because like
yeah,
stuff like the miracle frame, I just took that from what you wrote down on the sheet.
yeah.
What the X one was, so it's all up to you.
I'll roll a fortune die.
Okay. Let's see. I think, and 1 to 3 means jack shit.
Right.
4 to 5 means good detail, and a 6 is like great detail.
Okay.
Usually, like, you'd use maybe one of your actions for this, just remembering, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I rolled a 5.
Good detail.
Yeah.
And again, like the stuff, what the X1 miracle frame, I did kind of take that from you. So you have latitude to say as much as you want.
I've heard pretty terrible things. I thought that what they did to me was pretty despicable. But what they did to me, they developed after learning from mistakes.
And that's what my friend was, one of their mistakes.
That's what the church would call them.
What would you call it?
A child.
Just, is there anything left of them? Or are they gone?
I felt something. I don't know if it was due to our connection or something the church had done to us, but I was able to, for a moment, connect with them. I don't know. There was something. But I don't know if it was them, Naga. Or just an echo. Perhaps their memory is better served, better held in your heart than in their body.
I just don't want to be the last one.
Kind of gives you like a quizzical look. I don't think she knows the extent of your past. I would think she would think that you're implying that you were in the X1 program.
Naga, can you tell me what your belief about Verb is?
Oh yeah. Needs to remember who she was, not who they made her.
Mm.
Are you the same person you were before?
No. And I'm not yet who I should be, either. The church only half finished the job. I intend to complete it, one way or another. Either through this war or some other
Why?
way.
Why? Why would you want to complete it?
The past is in the past, Naga. The only way through is forward. Or, I suppose, into oblivion.
The past is a part of who we are as much as who we are now. I don't believe in forgetting that bit.
Well, Were you part of the X1 project? Just go ahead and pull that forward. You mentioned being the last.
The last of my old crew.
Oh, so that's how you knew them.
Bella was. She was one of mine. They were one of mine. If I'm the last one, that means I failed. I was responsible for them.
What about our squad? Is that not your crew now?
I'm here, am I?
Yes, but I don't feel the same affection that you hold for Abello.
I haven't known you as long. Maybe we'll get there. But I'm still.
Well, let me double check. Let me look at our sheet for romance, because that's where my mind went. Okay, yeah, weird. Maybe it's okay. Yeah. So, if we're to reach that point, I suppose we should get to know one another better.
Sure.
I'm an open book. Ask me anything.
Okay. What?
Oh, come now, it can't be that hard. Anything at all. That's all in character, by the way. Take your time, Treb. Like,
Yeah.
Verb is weird. Like, I have no idea what I would ask her. So.
So, if the war were to end tomorrow, what would you do?
Wow. I'd never given thought to that possibility. I suppose if the war would be over, that the church would no longer have a use for me. When the church has no use for you, perhaps that's where one finds freedom. If I found freedom, I'd probably go back to where I went when I was hiding. In the autocab. Speeding faster than human reflex, sinking into impulse and adrenaline. The rush.
Hmm. Didn't know you were a cab driver.
Well, I can pilot just about anything. That's what I would miss most from the war is that feeling. It's what makes me feel alive.
I just want to survive.
Well, that certainly explains why you operate your mech the way you do. Like a giant club. Not saying it's not effective, but I wonder.
I mean, they gave me like I wouldn't call it even basic training.
Pure instinct, natural talent.
I think unless there's anything else you want to do, I think I have a way to interrupt the scene. We'll go into like a quick second break. I think there's like a commotion. And it's weird to hear a commotion considering how little staff this base is. I think you hear like some shouts and yelling as like what feels like a bunch of different vehicles are like coming into the base. Because like I've not paid off the entanglement we rolled last time, which is let me read that out. Fire team trouble. One of your fire teams or their cohorts causes trouble due to their flaw or flaws. And let's take a break. Let's come back again at 1:15 the hour. And yeah, we'll see what that trouble is. So BRB. Okay. I just checked and your cohorts doesn't come in vehicles, but I think definitely there is like some argument as like a bunch of folks are kind of like put into the infirmary. Probably like they pass by wherever Naga and Verb are. And we'll say that like maybe you're still there, JD, when like a bunch of folks, we'll say like 3 people are actually injured. Dr. Orpheus is still there, and she's just like, what's happening? And one of the toughs, your Harriers, goes to find like Verb, and we're like, we need a judgment call. You're the boss here, right? Looks to you, Verb.
Certainly not. But I am certainly capable of delivering judgment.
Okay, cool. Says this one. I'm imagining they have. I'm imagining they look probably not late 20s, short crop hair. I'm not going to give them a name. It's not important. We just need a Harrier to bring you, the 2 of you, to the infirmary. And I think the Meridian is there, looking stony faced. Well, you can't tell, mirror faced. Talking to the leader of the Harriers, who is like a frequent, I guess, the one playing cards that Naga played with. Her name is Saskia Selek. Thank you, Beam Saber name generator, for that. And she's like talking really loudly and fiercely and saying, "Look, we made a judgment call, and well, I'm sorry if we pissed off those idiots at what's it called, Calazar. We're not friends with any corporation anyway. I don't know why firing on them is the biggest sin in the world. Especially considering who we thought was with them. I mean, I think like he sees the 2 of you going march in, and he says, "Okay, well they can back me up. Clearly, we were. You'll see that we were warranted in our actions." And he kind of like looks like, it's like, yeah, I know we've not been on on mission yet, but I'm a professional. I looked up who's here, who I'm meant to be working for. You have a fourth one with you, right? Crux Caribe, right?
Indeed.
Well, not. Well, we've seen her once in the base, so I think we have a good idea of what she looks like. But this is her, right? And she pulls out like a tablet. I think like it's like a weird tablet sort of thing. And you see that you'll see that there is like this person who is there's a picture in the tablet, and it's like out near the edge of the bridge in Journey City, and there is like these two ridiculous looking mechs. They look like toys. They look like proper Gundam, as in like bright primary colors. They're they don't look like elegant like Verb's mech. They look like action figures, like some rounded edges. They look like Transformers, I would say, like from the 80s. And they've got these like guns. They're pointing at this person who's kind of like surrendering to them, and then Sasuke's like, oh, wait, hold on, that's their back, and they flick around, they flick through like the images until they get like a shot of, well, it looks like Crux, but much quite a bit older. Verb you recognize this as the pilot you flicked across the river, and Sasuke's like, look. Look, we just thought that, well, this is clearly one of the people we work with, and they were worth rescuing. And yes, we fired on those Kalazar motherfuckers because they look ridiculous. They deserve to be fired upon. And we didn't rescue her, I guess. But okay, we might have shot up the surrounding area a bit. No, there were no casualties. We checked it with the. She shoots like a look at Dr. Orpheus. Like, we checked it with the doctors. There are no casualties. Some several injuries, but see, is this not your friend? Pointing at this person.
I'd meant to confront Crux about this individual. I do kind of like take a sidelong glance at my squad mates to see if they what their thoughts are, because it's
yeah, they didn't see this pilot, only you did. And I think only Naga, you've not been privy to all this multi-Crux nonsense, right? You've yet to meet a Crux.
I think JD did, is that right?
Yes. JD met the cube and the cuckoo.
Yeah.
I think Naga would say, I don't know. Does Crux have a older sister?
Is that the cuckoo?
I put a picture of this Crux. Again, none of them look the same because they're different kind of pictures. Yeah, this one looks like a soldier, for sure. The cuckoo looked like a creepy secret agent. This one is like, half-shaved head, hair dangling on one end. They look rough and scarred and quite and look like they've been through quite a bit. But it's still like very clearly Crux is the weird thing. Just like a bit older, like quite a bit older.
The cuckoo.
No, I guess the cuckoo doesn't have that many scars. It's sure look like, but I mean, looks like Crux too. No, this actually isn't our friend, but I can see how you would make that mistake.
Saskia just kind of like, what?
Just she told me who she worked for, right? Before I flicked her, is that right?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember because I think I asked her like, who do you work for?
I think she said if I had it my way, myself.
Okay.
And then you flicked her.
This is unfortunately, I believe you've fallen prey to a mistaken identity. While the resemblance is uncanny, this is not our squad mate.
What? And before like Sasuke say anything, the mood is just like, and that is all we're going to say in the matter, on this matter. And this is the most authoritative he's ever sounded. Mostly he just sounds bored and monotone. But something's like, this is all we're going to say on this matter. I would advise for all of you, everyone in this room, and his gaze like moving around quite methodically, and it just also encompassing Dr. Orphea, to keep this within this room and no further.
Oh, good. More secrets.
Okay, so here's how disentanglement mechanically kind of works. You got to make a choice. Because, like, apparently, because Sasuke's because, like, well, Kalazar are asking for, they're asking for, well, they're waiving a bunch of contracts, they're waiving a bunch of clauses, they're waiving, recompense, whatever the fuck that means.
As if they've forgotten we're in a war.
Yeah. I should read the small description of this faction. They are the hold on. Oh, the wrong one. They're a Kalazar strategic deployment. They're a military company of fans of the Kalazar media franchise. Their goal is to earn enough money to produce the next KalazCon. Yeah, so that's why their mechs are toyetic, because they are. Toys have been made of them. In fact, the franchise probably came first before the mechs. That's why they look like that. So mechanically, here's how entanglement works. So Kalazar are asking for recompense. The fire team has caused trouble. You can choose to either lose face by acquiescing, which is say you're going to forfeit rep equal to your tier plus 1, so that's 2 tier, not the worst. Or you can make an example of one of the fire team, or you can face reprisals from the wrong party. Just bring it, kind of action.
Fuck him.
Is that what Naga says?
Yeah.
I think Meridian will just sigh. I suppose we should remind them that we are at war. And this is bound to happen.
If some kiddies want to play soldier, why not schedule a play date? That was a terrible lie.
yeah, like Sasuke gives you like a look. It's like,
what a terrible line.
Yeah, exactly. Do you put on sunglasses or just walk off? Yeah. Okay.
I was drinking right then.
Sorry.
Oh man.
Okay. So I think that's gonna be the bones of when we come back. So we're just fucking how's our team? Okay. I think we're gonna spend the last half hour because rounding off some downtime activities. Folks still have some Verb. You still have 2 because you only talked to Naga. I think Naga, you've used them all up. Like you did recover into long-term projects. So let's turn to JD. You have 1 more.
Yeah. I should probably use this to recover since I was just looking at like what a 2 harm does, and it's a -1 to everything, and like.
Well, not everything. Everything that injury can affect, which is to say that injury is quite broad.
Having been shot is pretty is a pretty wide variety of activities that I
Yeah,
can
but yeah, I say like stuff like you can survey probably and be fine, but most physical
Mhm.
stuff, yeah. Which is like, but you're a
Yeah,
scout, so
should probably do something about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend my extra my last downtime action.
Yeah.
Recovery again.
Yeah, I think Dr. Orpheus just like, all right, I appreciate that we're at war, but can we not? Can y'all talk about it in a more appropriate location, please? Patience. I say, or patient. Oh yeah, patience, because they just brought in some wounded
Yeah,
members
we have
of.
some new ones.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna roll with 3 dice because you got one extra because we now remember the infirmary should give you an extra
Great.
die.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll take these orange ones here, and well, if I can select them all, there we go. Oh, come on, keep rolling, keeps rolling. Okay, 5.
5. All right. So that gets you 2 segments. Do you want to spend the last generic supply point to bump that up to 6? That should get you 3 segments.
Let me see how many segments. Oh, that's right. I need 3 segments, don't I?
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, it's good to
Even
spend them
it
all
out
now because
here.
like you don't have unless you have storage, they just go away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So that now I'm down to 1 more, right? Or am I?
Yes, down to level 1 harm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
So you are now just, I don't know,
I can deal
bruised
with that.
or you're um I love that it's specifically by Juliet Alderman.
Right. Yeah. Well, I write it down so that I can remember what happened when I'm looking at it. Because I'm like, okay, wait. It says I have harm. What? Why do I have harm again? Okay.
You decide to
Cool.
shoot at her.
Right. Yes. I should put. Okay. Decided to shoot. Leftover consequences from really dumb action.
Look, the dice. It went one way. There's a universe where you rolled a 6, and you wouldn't be rivals with her. And
Yeah.
okay, so
Also, like, I think this is obviously not a mechanical effect or anything, but I would like to take the opportunity to talk to what is her name again? The doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Because like she's traveled around to probably a lot of like post-disaster situations, and I want to know if she has been or heard anything, or like has colleagues who have worked at the outpost that I had just moved to when it was destroyed.
Cool. I'm gonna make a fortune roll to see if she knows. I'm gonna roll her tier. Just 2 dice. All right, that's a 5. So I think she gives it like some thought and says, I think I've not been there personally, but I think we do have a detachment of our group there at the moment. And I think her voice is kind of a bit heavy. And she says, I will say, most of the time, if we have a detachment someplace, well, I would not want for them to be there in the first place. We go where we're needed. The sad thing is
Yeah.
that when we're needed, and she kind of makes a shrugging gesture.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, you hear limited amounts of information about it, so
Yes. I'll try to reach out, see what progress is being made there. I assume you have a vested interest in that place.
yeah, I lived there right before, but I seem to have a history of disasters following me now.
That's, if it's any comfort, it's not unique to yourself, JD.
No, it's not. But well, I just like some accurate news. It isn't filtered through the church or Exodus or
I think
other people with a vested interest.
I think she kind of looks around because she realizes she's in a church run place. And there's like how many people she's talked to now who don't want to be there, apparently.
Does anyone working for the church actually trust the church?
Not these four. Like, not even Crocs. Because I forgot her tragedy. She was sold to the church. Jesus. I think just say like, I'll get the word out. As much as those of us who don't work for Exodus or for the Evangelions or for the church, as much as that leaves us bereft of resources, of support, as much as that means you have to struggle a bit more for support, I don't envy this.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of compromises, a lot of second guessing everything you're told.
I think she wants to ask something, but you realize again, Jesus, where the church is. Well, for at least for now, let's try to give each other the comfort we can. I'll talk to my colleagues.
Thank you. I'm sorry, your first few days here has been, well, it must be a little strange. I know, yeah, the people here they take some getting used to.
Oh, don't worry. I've almost gotten used to the singing. And then maybe suddenly reverberating.
It could be worse. She could be a bad singer.
Thank goodness for small mercies. On cue, singing starts reverberating amongst the halls. Was there anything else you needed from the scene, or I think we can cut it there?
Nope. I just wanted to know, no, I think I was possibly kind of flirting with her, but like only in the sort of, I don't know, like I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to flirt when people are world weary about war.
Right? Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to flirt and talk about war at the same time. But like, I think that's what I was trying to do, and I don't think I was really managing either all that well.
Let's roll to see if like she picked up what you were putting down. It's a bit reckless, sure. Yeah. Doing this in the church, but yeah, it's still. It's fun to leaving stuff to the dice. This might be like, I don't know. This is too nice to be sway, because swaying is like a kind of persuasion. This might be.
I think this would be consort, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Can love bloom in the battlefield? Yes, but not without some risk.
Right.
Um,
Okay, I have one in consort.
let's say this is risky. There's gonna be some risk here. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I just want to do one action roll today. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
5.
Oh, all right. Okay, well, it's risky, which means there's still gonna be consequences. I was gonna ask if you wanted to push yourself, all that fun stuff.
Oh no. I think it should be risky. I mean, there should be it should be a little more complicated than her just like getting it.
Yeah, I think when you say getting used to it and the singing starts, and she says well, if it helps, it's not hard to get used to you. And she kind of gives you a pat again on your leg, but it's more I guess it's more of a quick rub than a pat.
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of tongue-tied because I did not expect that to go well. I didn't expect her to either notice or respond.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, I think the complication is that it's just going to be less effect. It would have been risky standard, but it's a bit limited. So it still worked, but that's the most you get. And I'm just going to keep a clock on my GM notes. Not that I want to mechanize falling for someone.
That's fine.
We're not in a video game. But I'll keep that in mind. Cool, so that happened. All right. Okay, I think the last thing we'll do is Mike will use up your 2 downtime activities. You still have 2. What do you want to do?
That's a good question.
You still have 2 projects and keep working on them if you want.
Yeah. Okay. I'll definitely try out. I'll check in with Titania Cradle, so to speak.
Oh yeah, last time you tried to check on that, all you got was a link to a public TED talk.
Right. So maybe do a little bit more digging there.
Yeah.
Would you have mentioned that whole thing?
I probably would have included the name of the rival pilot during the debrief, that I encountered.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I just spoke to somebody who works for Takuma, so
you might see me Googling on the hollow screen or whatever, or you see Titania's face in some corporate profile.
Yeah, maybe if you look at their social media, it looks incredibly curated, a lot of bland corporate stuff, and maybe some pictures. You see there's her, and there's her intern Nightshade or something like that. Just it's all public.
Is this photoshopped?
Yeah. So okay. What are you rolling to keep looking into Titania's nonsense?
I think this is just study again.
Mm-hmm. Not prowling around, hunting her down. No.
Ooh.
I mean,
I think that there's more here. I think that she has all these layers of SEO, stuff kind of covering up. I think that there's more data to be found on her if you keep digging.
Okay.
Gotta go to page 2 on the Google search, The fabled.
Let's roll.
But JD, if you see me working on that, do you think you would come by and?
Yeah, I think I would mention that. Oh, I just talked to somebody from Takuma, and I guess she didn't really tell me anything in like super in detail about Takuma, just about the alderman. But I'll definitely like relay that. Okay, they seem to be related more than just they're both like owned by the same, you know, umbrella company.
I think at the very least, your words give me a few more search terms, you know, to
Yeah.
kind of try to narrow things down.
She didn't say Titania Cradle's name, did she?
No, I think.
But I can give you her, like yeah, I one of my former students, Nightshade, works there now.
And then we can maybe pull up pictures of them together on the social
Yeah,
media or
yeah.
or corporate profile pages, you know, at the corporate retreat, relaxing poolside or whatever.
Right. So like you may be able to find information on Nightshade that would lead you like maybe she's a little bit less careful with her social media posts.
A former student of yours working for Takuma.
It's a long story.
What is that like?
Well, as far as I can tell, she's working there to stay close to her dad, who's working for Alderman. Also, he's supposed to be dead, but that's a kind of an open secret, apparently. I might be the only one who didn't know he was still alive.
There are
I ran
mysteries.
into him in that
In the space station.
crashed station. Yeah, he's definitely working for them. I'm not sure what he's doing, but
Looking healthy for a dead man, you would say.
yeah.
So we have one man who should be dead, looking alive and well. We have one child who should have been granted peace, but was instead granted something of an undeath. And then our own teammate has one or possibly two lookalikes running around, it sounds like.
Yeah, I thought for a short time that might be what had happened with Dust Eye too. But no, it's apparently really him.
I suppose I should be used to this now, working for the church, being left in the dark. But I can't deny that it's still a little frustrating. As I continue to hammer away at the virtual keyboard, you know.
Yeah, let's roll to see how well that goes.
Yeah.
You get an extra die from JD's help. 2 dice.
Yeah. It's 10:50. I should be rolling dice.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have another action.
Yeah, only a 3.
Oh my gosh! What is that is one segment.
Her social media is well curated. I might have to start prowling.
Yeah, I think what the most interesting you get out of this is you'll see there is like a scholar or like a peer review. She posted something recently in her peer-reviewed online science journal that costs quite a bit of money to like subscribe to, and I think the title is just what makes a person? Redefining Humanity by Titania Cradle. And there's like a list of like supplementary works, and you can see that like Nightshade's name is on it as well. The preview text you get is like again kind of like a more bloviating version of her TED talk. A lot more big words. It's a lot. It's more nonsense. If you cut through the waffle, you can see like she's trying to drill down in this opening page or two. What is a person? And I think the ending of that preview text is basically, if you think about it, a human being is an inexplicable creation. If we posit that we were not made by a guiding hand, then our existence can only be arbitrary. And you can't do
Please
the rest.
subscribe to see more content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
pirate.
yeah, go to your pirate websites. I nearly said the one I know, and I shouldn't do that. I don't use that site. I just know about it.
Information should be free. Yeah, so I think I would like just kind of swipe the screen away in frustration, and not to take up too much time, but I would turn to JD, say, if you had to face down your former student as a now enemy soldier, what would you do?
I don't know.
Do you think that your words would still hold authority to them, or is Titania Cradle there?
I don't know. She seemed not to have a lot of loyalty toward Takuma when I talked to her, but she didn't try to lie to me and tell me her dad was still dead, or was dead, I guess, not still dead. That goes a long way, but I don't know.
I don't mean to push you, JD. I just want to warn you because Titania Cradle is not going away. I'm not going to let her get away. If she has answers for me, I will pry them from her. And if Nightshade gets in my way, well, this is a war.
Yeah.
Tension.
Yeah. Okay. Since we're not close to time, I will say, unless JD, is there anything you want to say to that? Because Verb's being creepy.
No, I think it's just like, just kind of quietly processing that, and deciding or trying to decide what to do.
Okay.
And then comes on the like happy anime like closing song.
Not yet, because you still have one more downtime activity.
Okay.
I know we're like close to time.
Oh
but
yeah.
I would suggest that, like, unless there's anything else you want to do, you're only one tick away from your other project. And in any role would finish it off.
That's true.
Because you're one tick away. Like, you don't even have to roll.
Yeah.
If you say you want to spend that,
let's just do that. Yeah, let's just do that to wrap it up.
Okay. All right. So I think, do I want to do this by creepy email as well? Oh, you know what? Yeah, just to tie this all together.
Love it.
I think, as you're like talking, you get like an email through like your tablet, and you see it's another different lines of symbols and squiggles kind of email address, reminiscent of the one that Naga got, and I think like the email just says, "You, on the other hand, need a leg up." And it contains like a PDF of like a text you've never heard of, that's written by the church. And it is kind of like a small, well, it's not even like a text, it's more like a recordings of happening of some time. And you can see like the calendar is like an old church calendar, and it's like an almanac of the year 1343 in the calendar of the church. And it's a lot of like boring stuff like, oh, church a church was installed in this place. Oh, there was like a conclave. Oh, there are a bunch of like gurus got together and like, oh, no, this myriad, instead of having 3 wings they had 4 wings, that sort of thing. The only thing that there is you can see is like who was like in the council. So there, and you can, and actually no, what you see there is like there's an inauguration of a new faith. And if you sync it up with all your research, you can see that like the faith that you've been chasing would have been inaugurated around this time. And you can see that faith was named Caribbee.
That name sounds familiar. Is that like
go to
Crux's
Crux's
last
page?
name?
Yeah.
Oh, for heck! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh! Okay. Okay.
Now we
Oh,
can go to
man.
the anime happy credits. If that's okay with folks.
Shoot.
Yeah. So yeah, setting up a lot.
Nice move, Leandro. Nice move.
Okay. Hope Lara's fine with that. Love to add an ancient conspiracy. All right, I'm gonna stop this recording. But that was great. I'll say right now, because it was a Field's time, get together, get feelings. I'm not even gonna go to XP triggers. Y'all can just get 4 XP. If Austin, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I just want to be nice. Also, Verb, because you completed project, add another tick to your drive clock. Because this is part of your looking into become fully machine. We're looking to the church. So yeah, I think I'll just give you all 4 XP because I want to be nice. And does that same go to crew? I'll sleep on that. But yeah, I just want to stop recording because we're about on time, and I do want to talk to the players. But y'all are great. Love these characters. love them interacting. We'll talk about that after recording. But yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Hopefully, everyone's watching this. Hopefully we'll come back to these folks and see how they get on. Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you all very much. Bye, YouTube.